Hello, welcome to Jenny's Food Network. My mother-in-law gave me some purple potatoes, like these, and, well, if you didn't see it, sorry, like these. It's really weird. I've never used purple potatoes before, okay? It's my first time using this. I highly recommend not to use purple potatoes because the color stain comes out, and it was more purple than this. It was actually like purple food coloring. So I had rinsed it out a couple times. So now I'm gonna go ahead and drain out the water, and you will see how dark this is. And I know that it might, hopefully this type of potato is not too starchy like the russet potatoes. The brown Idaho or whatever russet potatoes, they are more starchy, therefore they break down better, so they're better for mashed potatoes, you know. Red potatoes, they are not as starchy, so they're great for salads and, you know, potato salads and stuff. And they don't break down as easily as the starchier ones, the brown russet potatoes. So here we have it here. Very dark purple and weird looking. I'm not used to this, so. All right. I usually use the red potatoes or the brown russet potatoes. Okay, here we have, now back to the soup pot here. It has been boiled for about 2 hours now. And here you have it. Smells really nice. The garlic and ginger have been boiled in here for about 2 hours now. And now I'm gonna take out the chicken to debone it. Freddie, can you come get him? Okay, I almost knocked over my tripod. Okay, here I'm taking put him in the plate pan or something. And here I'm gonna take out the chicken bones, okay? I kind of had it in here for too long, so now everything's breaking apart. So you don't want the bones to break apart too easily too much, so take it out after an hour, hour and a half. But I was busy, so I didn't get a chance. So use a dipper to help lift and transport it to a container to debone it. I had to transport the chicken and the bones in here. I'm going to cover it back. I'm going to still leave it on low, okay? Later on, when the fat floats to the top, I'm going to start scooping some of the fat out, and I'll show you how I do it, okay? All right, here now back to the chicken and bone here. I would get a container. Another container. Let me zoom out. And this is when I'm going to start deboning, okay? Let me get another tong. Here, this thing right here works pretty good. It kind of gives it a good grip. And I'll use one tong on one hand, and this will be, you know, pinching out the meat, okay? Can you put him in the room, please? Okay, here I'm going to start deboning right here. The bone I'm going to put into a bowl to throw it out later. And the chicken meat, I'm just going to transport it over. You know, this type of soup, you know, the way I make it is very time consuming, but it's really delicious, okay? You can use chicken breast meat if you like, but it's not going to be as brothy as this one with the bones, okay? You can use whole chicken, or you can use the chicken breast meat with the bones, or you could use drumsticks. But since I happen to have this, I'm just using this. Okay. So as I debone this thing, which will take time, I'm going to go ahead and start putting, just to show you what I was doing, you know, deboning it, remove the bones, throw it out, and the chicken put on this side. And then we're going to come back to here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. As you see, now the fat floating to the top, okay, looks like oil, and that's natural fat from the chicken. So you want to scoop that out, okay? Now they're starting to clump together like little islands, you know, so you need to scoop that out. I'm going to take my dipper, and here's a 32-ounce container. I'm going to put into here, okay? I'm going to collect it in the 32-ounce container, and I'll show you what I do next. So go ahead and pour it in here. As you pour it in this container, it's going to float to the top again, okay? And you just scoop that out and put it into a bag, and you throw it out. And then you pour the remaining broth back in so you don't waste it. And whatever left of the oil fat on top, when you refrigerate it, when it gets chilled, it's going to clump up and it's going to look like it's going to be saturated fat, okay? And then you could still scoop the chunks out, floating to the top when it gets refrigerated and cold. Right now at room temperature, or even at the heated temperature, the hot temperature, it's melted. That's why it just floats to the top like liquid. Okay, so now I'm done with that. I'm gonna zoom back out. As you can see right here, that yellow maize color oil fat floating, this is the soup broth with water. Look at that. I'm gonna scoop more and get rid of it, okay? So for now, I'm just going to pour that yucky stuff into the bone bowl, and I'll pour it into a bag later and tie it up. So, let's see, here we go. Let me zoom out more. There we go. It's very hot, so. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do the same process. I'm going to now scoop that top layer out, okay? See, I'm scooping the top layer out. I'm going to pour into a yucky bowl that I'm going to toss and tie up later anyways. Okay, so now you can see there's just a very small thin layer left, but it's okay. I'm going to pour it in here. Like I said, when you refrigerate it, when it gets cold in the refrigerator, those chunks are going to harden up into like saturated fat that you'll see. You can clean it out with a spoon or a strainer, dipper type of thing. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and put these potatoes that I have. I don't recommend using potatoes for soup, the dark purple ones, because it's pretty much going to turn your soup kind of purplish, okay? But since I have it, I'll just use it. This is about 11 small potatoes, small hand-sized potatoes. So I'm going to turn the heat back up, on medium-high. And you only need to cook potatoes for about 30 minutes. That should be good enough. So while this is cooking, I'm going to start deboning the chicken, removing the bones and separating the meat. We'll see how purple my soup gets. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cover it now. When it starts to boil, I'm going to turn down the heat, okay? So now I'm going to come back here and finish it up, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.